Alright, what is up YouTube? I'm for you. We're going to be profiling Amon Turbo and our current iteration of the deck. And we're going to be completely honest with you. This is our rough sketch of the deck, and we're still kind of learning things right now.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that don't actually understand what Amon is, this is the new double your soul stride, right?
No, this guy doubles your soul.
Okay.
This guy just says, I get big and give power.
Okay. So, what does this do exactly?
When he's placed on Vanguard or at the beginning of your ride phase, you get to choose 2 of your rear guards with Amon, and they get 1k for each card in your soul at that time.
And then when you stride a card with Amon in its card name, you can soul charge the same number of times as the number of cards in your soul.
It literally doubles your soul.
And
you do that once a game. Maybe 2, depending on how terrible your early game was.
Okay, and then this guy is counter blast 1, choose one of your rear guards, put it into your soul. Your opponent chooses one of her rear guards, retires it, and this unit gets plus 5,000 for every 5 cards in your soul. The number of cards in your soul is 20 or more. Your opponent chooses 2 more and retires them. You have a heart with Amon in its card name. This gets 1 soul.
1 crit.
Oh, one soul. Yeah, 1 crit. God, this seems incredibly terrible. Why is it not drive plus 1? I mean,
it'd be fucking amazing if it was drive plus 1.
We're already this far into the commit mill phase of this. So this is literally just control. Mm-hmm. Okay. So 4 copies of the new Amon stride. Like we said, just for 1 counterblast, you get to manipulate your soul and double the number of occupants in the dorm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. Pretty straightforward there.
Every turn after that, you'll be able to give power to rear guards.
Okay. And then we have 2 of the Amon Legion.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 Amon himself. Have you wanted to extend this out to more Amons? Do you feel there are enough Amons in the dormitory?
If I would take the 2 Legions out, because I never ride him. I actually do ride him early game. But I would put in the cross ride for Amon.
Okay, Amon reverse.
Yeah.
This is pretty good for your, if you are going first and you need to counter rush your opponent, eat up their board, which is extremely nice. Do you ever find yourself lacking counterblast?
Not really. The only things in the deck that counterblast now are the grade 3s and the strides.
Oh, okay, actually, that's very nice.
And your starter, sorry.
It's a shame that you never ride this, but I feel like this is just for a late game compression to return triggers.
Basically.
Alright, cool. So, I see young Amon's follower. This is if you have an Amon Vanguard Soul Charge 2. Mm-hmm. Alright.
Pretty simple.
And then 4 copies of, this is the new guy, right?
Yes. When he's placed on rear guard, you Soul Charge 1, and if the card you Soul Charge is a card with Amon, you may have him get -4, but if he gets -4, you Soul Charge another, and then he gets 5k for every 5 cards in your soul.
Okay, so he's just a powerhouse, and then you only get that ability when he's placed for the turn, right?
Yes.
Outside of that, I mean, he's just a continuous 9k, which is definitely not bad at all for what the deck intends to do. But I'm still worried about turboing out my soul. So here's that.
But like I said, you're only going to turbo out your soul once, mainly.
And then you're just going to keep track of triggers and go from there.
Basically.
3 copies of the 12k attacker, correct?
Yes, it just helps with grade 2 game.
Alright.
And early game rushes.
And all Amon names. Vlad Specula, of course, the original OG Perfect Guard, representing.
Well, Amon Perfect Guard.
4 copies of Hellsteel, once again, just another additional Soul Charge 2, correct?
Basically.
3 copies of this guy, another 10k attacker.
Yes.
Just trying to get massive beats here. Next up, we have 3 copies of
New grade 1, exactly the same as the new grade 2.
Oh, okay, so this is just a 12k attacker? Basically.
Except he'll get -2, making him 5, which is the exact same number as this guy becomes.
Have you considered doing these on the rush early game? Or do you typically like to hold these until your 3 turn?
Basically your 3 or even your stride turn, because he'll only become 10 or 15 if you have 5 or 10 in soul.
Yeah, so if you're on the Amon turn, then you're really pushing numbers. Okay, fair enough. And then, of course, the most beautiful of the starters, Mermaid Grace. Of course, for those of you who don't know, if you choose an Amon Rearguard, Counterboss 1, rest it. And then you get to Soul Charge 2. Choose a card with Amon, and that card gets 1,000 for each card in your soul.
And that number does change. And counter to what the new grade 3 does, the number he gives on ride or beginning of ride phase
will stay.
It stays that number. This number will change.
Okay, because this is a continuous ability being given. Okay. 4 copies of the Into the Soul trigger.
Basically for more retire.
Okay, I was curious about if you were playing stands, but I see it here. So 8 crits, 4 stands.
The theory behind the stands is basically for the big beat sticks, and with most likely your front or rear guards getting big with this guy.
Yeah.
And with your barmaids, you hit that stand trigger, it's going to be detrimental.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the crit pressure you're generating, a crit in a stand seems very, very good. Now, why are you playing these heal triggers over your Amon name heals?
Because it's still good to get the extra card into Soul by putting him into Soul by going with G-guarding into Vincent, just to get that 1 extra Soul.
Okay.
And plus you are running the Breadamust, and you'd be able to put them back.
Okay. Have you considered more than 1 copy of Mermaid? Or is it just too much turboing?
I've thought about 2, just if my opponent ends up retiring it or is getting rid of it. But so far, 1 seems to be doing fine.
Fair enough. Alright, on to the G-Zone. Alright, how are you liking 2 copies of the new Amon?
2 copies is enough, just because he doesn't unflip himself or anything at all. The thing is, this is one deck that I don't think can turbo to GB8, because you'd have to have all 4 of your G-guards to turbo to GB8.
1 copy of this. This is basically...
there should be 2 there.
Oh yeah, there are 2. This kind of feels like this.
Kind of, but he gives power to the rear guards instead of himself.
Okay, so it's
he gives himself and the rear guards, actually. So
okay, so it's just kind of dependent on if you want to clear up boards, as opposed to just power turns. And if your opponent doesn't have a very big board, I assume you're going into this
basically
to generate your numbers.
If I see my opponent have anywhere from 5 to 7 cards, I may go into this if I have 15 cards in Soul, just to give my front row 9k.
2 copies of Bredamus. I assume that this is probably your 2nd to 3rd stride, depending on what you can manipulate that's left in the deck.
Basically.
Because of your Soul Charging, you can keep track of your numbers and move along with your power turns, correct?
And it is also there in case I make a mistake and accidentally Soul Charge too much with your new on-stride, he can fix that.
Alright. I'm seeing my boy Gildereus here. 2 copies of Gildereus, just a standard finisher for the deck.
Too good not to play. No grade 1 or higher crit.
1 copy of my boy Frederick. How's this doing for you?
He's basically just a placeholder. I never go into him.
I assume the next few of these are placeholders.
Basically.
Demagogue.
It's there. The Demagogue can actually be good because you do have a lot of main phase Soul Charge and can give your front row power.
Ooh, actually, that's pretty good. I assume that there was some builds that you just kind of toggle this, and if you resolve stand triggers, you can create value, right?
Basically.
1 GB, once again, just another placeholder, correct?
Basically.
And then we have 2 Vincents.
Like I said, getting the heal trigger back into the Soul, or getting it in the Soul for an extra Soul.
If you're on this turn, it's actually not too bad. And then just standard G-Guardians from this point on. Have you hidden GB8 yet playing this deck?
I've gotten no further than Stride 2 usually.
And you usually kill them, right? Typically, what's your line of play here? Is this typically where you start?
Yeah, typically, if my opponent has a really important unit, I will always go into this first. Maybe it again if depending on the situation. Really, it's all situational. If you soul charge way too many triggers already, you go into this. If you see your opponent has a lot of perfect guards, you may go into this second stride. But these are mainly your first 2 strides.
Alright, fair enough. Alright guys, this is the Amon deck profile you've all been requesting. I hope this will give you a place to start with your own home brews at home. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and we'll try to answer them when we can. Alright guys, later. That's not all, card fighters. Please subscribe for more Cardfight Vanguard content. Please remember to check out MCole40 for Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and please check out MColeGames.com, my store, along with No Limit Gaming, NLGTCG.com for all of your guys' trading card game needs as well. Until next time, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. Later.